film shoot, we didn't have permission to have the car driving against traffic. But he's like, oh my God, you're hiring real cops. This guy, I know his cousin and his uncle, do whatever the hell you want. So now, the car's turning around going against traffic.
In New York.
In New York, yeah. And we went down the entire street because we had to have it matched, and it was a nightmare, and a Steadicam broke, and there's all this heightened chaos on the production side. And then you have a guy, you give him the lines, and then he's like, I'm going to say them this way. It's like, fine. I mean, I love writing. He would only want to say the dialogue we wrote. But with someone with this cop, he's going to just have that authority to him. So when he stops them, as somebody who's been stopped by police and, run from them, I feel that. I get scared by it in a weird way. It's like, oh shit, you know what I mean? So it really...
Josh mentioned the Steadicam broke. The reason it broke, and this actually, when I heard it, I internalized it. It was very powerful to me. It broke because we were trying to get a very difficult shot. He was running full speed with the two of us down the street, over speed bumps, and it was a very difficult.
And we wet the entire street,
yeah,
too.
But he's like, I'm gonna get it, and it was just a matter of him wanting to get it for the movie, and it was like it became this athletic achievement that he had to do, regardless of the danger. And so he's running full speed, and he just wipes out, and the camera breaks. All this hundreds of thousands of dollars just goes breaks.
We were covered by insurance. So.
Yeah, of course. But at the end, he wasn't upset about the equipment. He was upset that he ruined the shot.
Yeah, that's all. He kept apologizing. He had a bruise on his head. And his Steadicam rig was totally broken. There's screws everywhere. He's like, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. And that footage is actually pretty good.
We used it up until the very moment.
Yeah. But everybody did that. Everyone. Rob, everybody. Rob didn't complain once. He's the only person on the film shoot who didn't complain once.
Because even the dog kind of complained.
The dog got tired, yeah. The dog got tired. It's real.
The trainer had to look at us and say, stop saying his name. He's looking at you every
In
time.
the training process, the original dog that we got, the dog, literally the day before, had a heart attack. And died. Oh, yeah, not because of us. And the dog trainer's like, hey man, I'm sorry, but the dog died. I was like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, don't worry, the father can play. And I was like, father? How old is the father? and it turns out that that's what, but the thing is that's the way movies work when you're constantly working with reality, and we wanted to make the genre movie that's totally embedded within real life, 2017 in America. These things start falling your way. Just like, the opposite of Kanye. They didn't go his way, but they fall our way. Like, we end up having a dog that's blind in one eye, and has just so much character in it. That is...
Even the dog stepped up his game, because he was doing his thing. Where he rolled, all of a sudden, we wanted the dog to be barking to add to the scene, to add to the environment. And the dog started barking, all of a sudden we all just kind of stood a step back. He was just rolling for 4.5 minutes. Whoa. We couldn't believe what we were witnessing.
We wouldn't cut, yeah.
And we wouldn't cut, and then the trainer, he was crying. And he said he hasn't done that in 40 years. It's a thing that dogs do when they get into this call mode, and he was so proud of it.
I believe in it. You set the bar and people will reach it. If you can't afford that to rent the apartment that you want, go and rent the apartment and you'll figure it out. You know what I mean? I believe that everyone ends up you end up stepping up to your calling in a way.
Yeah. Speaking of keeping it real, I'm really happy you brought back Buddy Duress. Okay, right on. For those who don't know, can you maybe go into a bit of his background?
So Buddy Duress, I met him through the lead actress in Heaven Knows What. And he claims we knew each other in high school. I don't think that we did. But we might have, it's possible. And I had heard all these stories about him before I met him, and he was already a legend. And then I did a screen test where I tried out some dialogue and some scenarios and Heaven Knows What, and just blew all of us away. And then he stole that movie, in a way, in my eyes. He was on the run while we were making that movie. So there's a lot of stories about that. And then he ended up getting arrested about 12 hours after we finished his stuff in the movie. And then he